What's up? What's up? Bueno, belleza. Hello, how we doing today?
Welcome to
The Cosmic
Ocean.
Ocean.
My name is Nayeli.
And I'm Fatima. You can follow me on Hija del Maíz on TikTok and Instagram.
And you can follow me at the Nay_area. You can also book me for one-on-one sessions.
Yeah, she's amazing, guys.
My mother
Amazing.
for some cleanses and some baths.
Yes. Working on other things, but right now that's my offering.
And then I go live. And here in Colorado, we are on the unceded land of the Cheyenne and Arapaho peoples, amongst many, many other peoples who have walked this land. What do we always say? Awareness is the first step. And awareness, not just like when it comes to which land you're living on, right? But I think awareness is the first step in everything that you do.
Awareness and acknowledging. I think
Awareness and
acknowledging, knowing.
Right. But you can't acknowledge it if you're not aware of it. Was that the same thing?
Acknowledge, I guess, is like saying, oh my gosh, I have a problem. And then what was yours? Knowing?
Awareness.
Awareness is knowing you have a problem. So yeah,
I think it's the same thing.
we always do this. We always say the same damn thing.
We do.
How are you? We've had rough weeks, man.
Yeah, we've been struggling here.
Struggling. We's a lot of. Well, no, yeah, I've been struggling, but not. We're struggling different, but say.
What a bitch, bro. What a bitch.
No, we're struggling. We're struggling.
We are struggling, but apparently not like me. She just wants to clarify that she hasn't been struggling like me.
No, we're different, struggling. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry.
Whatever. Yeah, we've been struggling, and I brought it up on TikTok to be more transparent because these dark nights of the soul I usually experience on my own, and I like to isolate. And on another podcast episode, I talk about how I do isolate, and I learned from both you and Dad to isolate. But then I remember I was talking to one of our first community members, G, and they were like, "Yeah, but those are." I think this was with them. They were like, "But that's what people need to see.
Oh,
they need to see those moments,
the
where,
humanness."
And they told me this like almost a year ago.
Oh my God!
So then I was like, okay, I remembered this time around, and I said, or I was brave enough to actually just say I'm not okay.
Yeah.
But even,
and I think it's been a theme these last couple of weeks. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay. And I think that's a very interesting topic. The idea of like, don't live in the anger, don't live in the fear, but we're not saying don't feel it.
Right.
We're just saying don't live in it. Because there's like a lot of people who say don't live in it, don't feel it. Spiritual bypassing, right? Just it's all happy.
Oh my God, it's so crazy. I just saw a TikTok, and it kind of it like makes me mad because they were saying how it's a trick that spiritual people use to say that you always have to heal, right? You're always healing. That it's not true. That we don't need to be out doing all that healing. That we don't need to heal. That we're fine. And I'm like, this bitch?
Who said that?
It was just some random TikTok.
What was the context? What was the objective? What was the point?
The context was that spiritual people just use the whole you need healing to abuse you, to take your money, to and what? That you are healed. You don't need more healing. And I'm like, oh my God.
Make it make sense. Damn.
I was just like, what?
What are you talking about, bro? Yeah.
Fuckery. It's like what you just made a TikTok about, how people, healers, need to do their shadow work. So it's like this person here saying you don't need to heal, but then offering services. It's like,
what? Wait, what? You totally skipped that part.
Oh, yeah. There's some kind of healer too, right? And so then I'm just like, oh my God.
Okay, let's unpack this because I want people to understand why. And I feel like our entire podcast, sorry for yelling,
heal the healer.
But it's literally,
healer.
Yeah, it's heal and awaken to the fact that you are a healer.
Heal.
And that means so many different things. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and do what we're doing. You have to go start a podcast. You have to start a
Right.
TikTok. You have to start
But if you
doing
want, do
tarot
it.
readings. Hell yeah. If you want, do it.
yeah.
But you are a healer.
Yeah.
And the idea of once you live your most authentic fucking being, you are healing people.
Yes.
You are awakening them. You are triggering them to what it's like to live your authentic self. That is how you heal people. That is healing more so as awakening. You know, I think that one's better than just saying
Yes.
healing.
Yes.
And I wouldn't even recommend, like, I don't consider myself a healer.
Right.
I consider myself a person.
A little medium, a little vidente.
Vidente.
I love that
Yeah,
word.
I really like
Vidente.
that so much.
Vidente.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
But and then to talking or just saying I'd rather walk with you through your accompany
Yeah.
accompany you through your suffering, walk with you through your journey, walk with you through whatever.
And I
rather than
think
saying I'm gonna heal you.
right, and I think that's why we've gone through so much stuff, and we go through so much stuff that way. When people come to us, we're like, okay, been there, done that. We can help you.
Right.
Right. You need to heal. You can heal that.
Right.
And it's possible. It's doable. But when people go on these platforms, especially with a lot of followers and stuff, and are like, you don't need to heal, you're already perfectly fine. It's like, oh my,
That's
oh.
such-
And then the other one I heard, this one pissed me off too. It's like, I don't know why people are over there saying how we are, we pick this with this path when obviously we don't pick being abused. And I'm like, oh my God. That, like, we as humans, before we come down, we as this human being, okay, no, when we're up there, in the sky, all happy or whatever, we're
We
some
as
celestial
divine
being.
beings,
Thank you.
celestial beings,
As divine beings, we come in, we
consciousness,
sign a contract, and
essence.
we pick our path, right? It's like, we're gonna get on the roller coaster. Which one do you want?
Right.
And so we pick this. Yes, we don't pick being with these abusive assholes, but we pick the lesson. We don't pick being, poor or dumb or I don't know, whatever.
Or we
right?
do.
But we pick the lesson.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, maybe we want to learn resilience. So we're like, okay, I picked the resilience box, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be with this narcissist for 20 years. And so maybe I didn't know I was going to come. That's what I was going to end up doing. Right. But I wanted to learn resilience. I wanted to learn how to be brave. I wanted to be able to learn how to be independent, but that's what I needed to go through. Right.
Yeah.
So then I feel too like people are just trying to remove that
ugliness.
the ugliness, and also the responsibility, right? That it's like, oh, that just happened to me. No, it didn't just happen to you, right? You have to go through it for a reason. You get what I'm coming from?
I do, but
Okay.
they are hard words to
It's
hear.
hard. It's really, really hard.
It's really, really hard. And I mean, I haven't brought it up because I haven't finished processing it, and I haven't really made up my mind on, or my comfortability level isn't there yet to talk about it. You know what I mean?
About
With the idea of, okay, like, suffering really bad, when things happen to you, you know what I mean? Like SA, like that,
oh,
SAs.
okay, yeah.
Like, because there was somebody that I remember watching on TikTok briefly. I was just scrolling, and they were like, how are you going to tell me that my 6-year-old self deserved that or chose that?
Yeah.
And that makes
That's
so
horrible, right?
Yes.
And I totally understand it with that.
Yes.
Like, you didn't choose that.
Right. And then, so then what do you say to those people?
You didn't choose it, but there's something in your being that knew that you were going to be better.
Overcome
because of it.
it.
You were going to overcome it. You're going to learn so much. Or simply the fact that because of your experience, you're going to be able to help somebody else overcome their experience.
Yeah.
But there's always a lesson in it. And there's a reason. There's a reason, even though it can be the ugliest thing ever, but something beautiful will come out of it. And that's the way you have to look at it.
Yeah, you have to, because then all the heaviness will consume you, and then you'll live in that fear, or you'll live in that anger, and you won't get out of it.
And then by holding that anger and not forgiving, not even just forgiving yourself, right? You give that other person the power. So it's like, why are you going to give them so much power when they hurt you so much? Why? You just have to let it go eventually. I know, and it's a lot of work. It takes a lot. But at the end of the day, when you do forgive and let go and you make peace with it, then you're able to overcome it and learn and be better because of it. You're not stuck in that hole. But then also when you stay in these situations, it's just like you're just reliving it over and over and over
You
again.
are.
And then all you're doing is hurting yourself. So I think it's you do kind of have to stop asking yourself, why me? Right? You have to. Or like, I didn't deserve this. You have to. And yes, it wasn't your fault. Yes, you're not, yes, you're the victim, but then you have to make that conscious decision at some point, especially if you were a child and now you're an adult, and be like, you know what? I'm not going to live in that anymore. I'm not.
Like, I have to move past this. Or there was at one point where, well, first of all, I do want to say that I think part of that rhetoric of I didn't choose this, you didn't choose this, you didn't choose this path is a way to take away your power, to further take away our power, because that's not true. We did, respectfully, and I hope that you're being is open to hearing this, but we did choose this. In Ifa, there's this understanding, and Ifa is the African, Nigerian, Yoruba tradition that I practice. Santeria derives from Ifa. They have, or we believe that up in the sky, very similar to what you were saying, how you started. We are essence, we are divinity. We go up to God and we say, okay, we're ready. We're ready to come down.
What's my next level?
And this is the path. This is the contract. These are all my loves. These are all my heartbreaks. These are all my traumas. These are my family members. These are my ancestors. These are my Orisha. You write everything in this contract. You say, this is my life. This is my story.
Yeah.
And then you come down.
Yeah. And you're like, and you pick, okay, this is what I'm going to go through. So these are the people who I'm going to go to. These are my guides that are going to support me through what I have to go through.
Right. Yeah. And then part of the deal is forgetting when we're born.
Yeah.
So we did choose this. We did choose to come down. And then let's zoom out. We are God experiencing life. And we wanted to experience everything life gave us. And somewhere along the lines, it took a dark ass fucking turn when humans became violent as fuck. When humans decided, you know what?
Violent and angry and scared, but I think it all comes from scared. From
full of
fear,
this dis-ease.
that fear.
But you know what? At the end of the day, this dis-ease is still part of the human experience, but that doesn't mean we have to stay in it. That doesn't, like exactly what you were saying. At one point, you have to choose, okay, I'm done living in it. I'm done being in it.
And I think it's like, I don't know, for me, it's been a huge theme this week, that whole taking accountability, right? So it's like acknowledging that, yes, you went through hell, like for me in my relationship, I went through hell, but I played a part, right? I played a part. I made, even if the part that I played was just staying there, just saying yes every day, just being there, just, that small thing, because it's like, there's some situations like going on in my family and I'm like, well, why do they allow it? Right. They need to understand that by you being there, you're still allowing it, and you're perpetuating that same cycle over and over and over again. So it's just those little things that you need to take accountability for, what you are choosing, yes, maybe you don't have a place, you don't have work, you don't have all of this stuff. Okay. Well, then let's make a choice, right? Like we talked last week, make a choice. You're going to make the best of it and then slowly be able to make a plan to get out of that. And then also we have to change that rhetoric, right? So then if you don't want to live in that cycle, in that abuse, in that crap, then you switch it, right? You're like, okay, I am happy, I'm healthy, I am rich, I am that bitch, That way you just start calling in what you really want.
And that's part of the healing. Because then in the Mastery of Love, they talk about how Don Miguel, I think I mentioned why I like this so much. It's because he really, I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. I think I mentioned it on the live. So go to my lives so that you can hear me rant and do readings. But I do talk about this on live, how I really like the way he writes, because he's not sugarcoating anything.
Oh, and see, that's beautiful. Because at one point you have to stop caring what other people are gonna think, right? Like, who cares? Are you gonna hear the message? You're not gonna hear the message. You're gonna fight with me. You're gonna listen. I mean, at the end of the day, if this is for you, you're gonna listen.
Right.
And if you don't want to, don't.
Right. And the people who it's like if this is for you, you're going to listen, but if it's for you, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Anyways, and honestly, you're gonna get triggered by it. So maybe it is just listen. If you heard it, you're ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but there you are hearing the difference between hear and listen, right? Or am I doing it wrong?
No, you're doing it right. So hear it. Everybody can hear, right? Because I'm talking,
so
you
it's
hear me.
listen.
Listen. Oh,
So I was doing it wrong.
listen. God damn, I think it's the same thing. No?
I think so, but
Just, you know what? Take it in.
yeah, absorb it. Let it marinate into your being. But I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah,
Don Miguel.
Don Miguel. But what
Mastery
was
of
my
Love. That
Okay.
you-
So then, anyways, oh, but if you're just hearing it, I think you're hearing it for a reason, because if you leave triggered, then it's still doing its job.
Yeah.
Because I would leave triggered.
still have to
Anyways,
heal.
on the live, I talked about how Don Miguel says beautiful things because he's not sugarcoating it, right?
Oh, okay.
And
yes,
I
yes.
fucking love that. And he's like, really, you can tell by the way that he writes things, so straightforward, no filter, boom. I'm not afraid of what you're gonna say. And he's like, but he's on a mission. He's on a mission to awaken these people's spirits. You know what I mean? Anyways, so reading the first or the second fucking chapter had me shook. I had to put the book down and process because I was like,
really?
what the fuck? But we do know this, but the way that he said it was just so
It,
fucking straight up.
You heard.
I heard, yeah, that shit hit. He's like, it's the whole idea of you treat people, or you teach people how to treat you.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
you allow what you think you deserve.
Ooh.
But he said it like this. He said it that you stay in toxic relationships or in abusive relationships because you think that you need to be abused.
Ooh.
Because deep down you believe that you need to be abused. And you say, I'm going to allow this level of abuse because that's the same level of abuse I give myself. And once it's too much, it's because you don't treat yourself that way anymore.
Oh my God.
And that shit, oh my God, just the word abuse is very heavy for me. And so hearing that, I was like, wow, because then you take a few steps back and that's so real. We tell people you speak very badly to yourself, but we can just say, or very negatively, or you're really hard on yourself, but we might as well just say you're abusing yourself. Every single day that you wake up and you treat yourself like shit and you tell yourself you need to do better and you have all these expectations and all this pressure, and then your partner does the same thing for you. Like, that's a cycle of abuse.
Oh my God. I was just listening to this, I was watching this TikTok, where this guy does a podcast. I don't remember, Temoch or something. I don't remember. Anyway, Espinosa Paz was talking. He's this Mexican,
Wait, I think, continue.
un autor mexicano, and he sings, and anyway.
Un qué?
Un autor, un escritor.
Author?
Oh no, un escritor, perdón. He's a songwriter.
Oh,
Es un songwriter.
okay.
Es un escritor de música. Anyway, but he writes really beautiful. But anyway, he was talking about how it's not that the person left you because they didn't love you. It's because you didn't love yourself.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, that is fucking beautiful. And then for
That a
him to be
Mexican
saying
man be saying that shit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's real.
And he was like, women, it's because you didn't love yourself enough. And I was like, you didn't love yourself enough. And I was like, oh my God. The podcast isn't out yet. I was trying to hear it today.
You know what I was trying to hear today?
What?
Moviendo el booty.
Fumando Mari. You know
That
that?
one. I couldn't find it. It comes out on the 7th.
It's still not out.
Still not out, stupid bitch.
Oh my God, ya está casi quemado en TikTok.
I know.
By the time it comes
Dead
out,
ass.
we're like,
I know. But anywho, so then it's so important to heal yourself.
oh,
The people out here saying, and then one time I also had that encounter of people saying, well, you don't need to heal to do spiritual work. And right, we're circling back to the idea of you do. And this
You
is why we
do.
talk every fucking episode. I swear to God, you guys.
do.
Somebody go figure it out. Somebody go listen to all the podcasts and tell me in how many episodes we repeat the idea of shadow
Or
work
if
being
you-
fucking necessary, bro.
Or if you're just listening to the podcast now and have listened to them all, straight, let us know.
Yeah. If you're starting, also don't start. I mean, do whatever you want. Anyways, share. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, healing is necessary. Why?
Healing is necessary.
Why? Honestly, I don't even know if I want to sit here and explain it to you guys. Not because I do feel like our regulars, our listeners, they know,
know.
but then there's still this entire crowd of people who still believe. And I really do hope it reaches them. The
We're gonna
idea,
preach to the choir though. Heal.
I know, we are preaching to the choir. That's exactly, it's like, why am I sitting here preaching to the choir? We need to preach to the people outside with the signs saying Jesus isn't real.
Or the ones out there outside the abortion clinic. Jesus loves you.
Yeah, we need to go preach to
Stop
them.
being so angry, dude.
But yeah, it's very necessary because then, and I made a fucking, oh my God, how did we start? Did we start talking about that? Because I made a fucking TikTok about it today.
Yeah, that kind of.
We started
No, we didn't start about that. We started about.
Did we talk about that?
I don't know how we ended up talking about
it. No, but remember, so I made that TikTok, right?
Right.
About, my TikTok said, make sure your spiritual healer, your teacher, whatever, does their work, does their shadow work, does their shadow work, heals, practices what they preach.
Oh, so funny. I was talking about shadow work today at work too.
And then, okay, hold on. And then you were like, how did you know? What happened that made you post that? And I was like, I've just been hearing the message for a while, and I've been postponing it.
Right.
And now we know why. See that whole generator shit, bro?
They want to talk about it, man.
That whole if I would have posted it about it a week ago, it wouldn't have fallen the way that it fell right now. Yeah. Anyways, what were you talking about today?
Oh no, because we were.
You look so nice in purple.
Thank you. As much as my hair.
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't Oya have something? Your feet?
Yeah.
You should.
Shango has my head and Oya has my feet.
You should.
Fire.
You should get your shit together and talk to her.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, because you were not getting it.
No. Took me a moment.
That's why they were like, get your shit together and talk to her.
Got it. God, okay. I've been trying to get my shit together. God damn. Ugh. I just finished my paper, guys, on Wednesday. 25-page research proposal. Here's your grant writer if you need my help. I got, I'll send you my rates. Anyway.
So true, though. Shameless plug.
Yes, but holy shit. I got my ass handed to me, and I've been having to meditate. They told me I need to meditate and journal again, and I haven't been able to. Because I had my ass handed to me for the last week and a half.
Because of the paper, because of
school.
But she's a grant writer.
Hell yeah.
She can do this shit. Easy.
Money.
She's all about the numbers, guys.
Oh, I love the numbers.
You know my God. And today we were talking about how we don't like math on the live.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love numbers because you know what? They all add up beautifully. It all comes down to zero and they don't lie. Yeah.
You got trust issues, girl.
A little trauma. Just a little trauma there.
A little girl. That shit jumped out so.
Numbers don't lie to you. Ever.
Liars don't cheat. I mean, numbers don't cheat. Numbers don't leave you alone to raise 3 kids.
That's a good one. Liars don't cheat. No, numbers don't lie and they don't cheat.
Don't lie and they don't cheat.
Oh my God. That was too funny. So at work.
Zero to trauma.
We were listening to this podcast and they were talking about amarres and then we were like, oh my God.
I got goosebumps.
And I was like, I would never. So I was explaining to my friend how my coworker that I would never do that because the main reason I would never do an amarre is because it takes away free will. And it's just like, you just do not want to mess with that shit. Anyway, so we were talking about that and then we ended up talking about shadow work, how it all comes down to you doing your work and taking care of yourself and loving yourself enough to not want to make somebody love you and stay with you. A huevo.
Yeah.
Crazy?
It is crazy.
What people do.
It is. And then Tito posted it about it. Breaking Tito on TikTok posted it about it. Posted it on TikTok. Like reposted on TikTok.
About
amarres and stuff. Well, it was more like they wrote somebody's name and honey. And then he was like, well, do you realize that they're going to come back obsessive? They're not going to let you go.
That. And so do you, now thinking about it, like if you, because I see this a lot at work because I work with a lot of crime victims. So I work with a lot of domestic violence, interfamily violence and all that stuff. But then you see when all of a sudden it's like these people get crazy, obsessive, they don't leave you alone. And it makes me wonder, I was like, did you do an amarre on them? Because then it gets to a point because it gets so obsessive because you're pretty much binding them to you with no free will. So all they want is you. All that I want is you. Literally. So they will not leave you alone. And so then when you're like, because you're obviously eventually going to get tired of them. And when you say, okay, no, leave me alone, then they're going to lose their shit.
Right. But then there's a very fine line.
Right. But then they lose their shit and they can become violent and aggressive and all this stuff because you're literally messing with their free will. You're making them you're binding them to you. And so it just does so much crazy stuff to you.
Right.
To
But
them.
then questioning if they did the amarres. Like that, there's a very fine
Oh,
line.
I don't ask. I just think it just pops
But
in my head.
then, but is it like a legitimate question because did you do an amarre?
Did I do one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, hell no. Oh.
And your experience wasn't different.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
even in those situations, just because this person is
There's
the way
no
that they
excuse.
are,
There's
that
no
doesn't
excuse.
mean that they had an amarre.
Right.
It's just like, so what's the line? You know what I mean? What's how do you know? I don't fucking know. Just mind your business and don't fucking do it.
Exactly. Some people are just crazy.
And some people go through extreme trauma
Yeah.
and don't have the tools to come out of it.
Right.
But some people, just are abusers because they were abused, and
yeah.
it's not an excuse,
Definitely.
but
I'm
it's
not
just
taking away-
a cycle of abuse.
Right. And I'm not taking away anything from that. It just, like you said, it just becomes obsessive and you don't know how to get rid of them when you binded them to you. So then what the hell are you going to do? So just don't mess with that.
Right. Yeah. Just don't. Just really fucking don't, bro. There is no point. It's just you're creating. I don't know. It's just such a fucking mess.
It's a mess. It is a mess. Maybe we can talk about it in another one, but fuck.
No, thank you. I'm not gonna give attention to something that I'm not trying to call in. We're
Okay.
generators. We don't do that shit.
Okay, don't do it.
Anyways, next, another thing that we
Free will.
were, free will. Another thing that not even the gods fuck with our free will.
That's what, oh my God, I was just thinking about that. It's like, God doesn't even take away our free will. The goddesses that are Orishas, they don't even take away our free will. Why are we, as these itty bitty little human beings, trying to take away somebody's free will?
The
Why?
audacity, the
Right?
fucking audacity.
Los
bro.
huevos. Man.
I know.
Don't mess with that shit.
Don't mess with that shit for real,
Don't.
bro. Anyhow,
Just go turn on a candle and make a prayer.
yeah, just pray. Just go to therapy.
Oh, yeah. So then it's like, do your shadow work to your therapy. If you're getting all obsessed and you're getting all codependent, right? We talked about that. Codependent. Like, so me, okay, totally transparent here. I had a reading and
When?
what I talked
Recently?
about, the one with
Okay.
like 2 weeks ago?
Okay.
Or was it a week and a half ago?
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know. When did I get all mad? Anyway, I had a reading.
Oh, like Friday.
Was it Friday? And I was so mad, you guys. I had a reading.
Oh, a week ago.
A week ago. Oh, I had
About a week ago. Week ago. Girl, if you're gonna dance, at least do it to the beat. About a week ago. Hey! Okay, anyways, and then?
I had a reading about a week ago.
About a week ago. About a week ago. Okay.
And I was mad.
Wait, what happened?
Had a reading. And I was mad, you guys. I was mad because they were like, they called my ass out, right? They're like, you want a relationship, but you're not ready. Your codependent ass is not ready. And I'm like, what? Oh, hell no.
Pause. I don't know why you were so shocked when our shaman has been fucking telling us that, because we go to class together, and what happened? So she's always trying to separate us.
Always.
And then it became very apparent winter solstice when we sat apart, and you were like, no, literally, like she literally did that, and I was like, I'm gonna sit here, and then my mom was like. Ah. And then our teacher saw the whole thing and like did something. Like, I don't know if she made a comment or laughed or something.
She laughed at me. She's just like,
but that too, that should have. And I told you, and we talked about it.
so I wasn't listening. You know, the whole comment about hear and listen, and I was not ready to hear it. I heard it, but I didn't hear it.
You heard it, but you didn't listen.
And I didn't
Or you
hear
listened,
it.
but you didn't hear it.
I heard it. I listened, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah. No, she just said, like the whole, oh yeah, get your shit together and listen and start praying to her. Oh,
okay.
that okay. Anyways,
So I pulled it.
she literally her. Anyways, continue.
So I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad. And so that's how I processed my shit. This is what I would do in therapy. I'd go to therapy.
Yeah.
They would tell me I would get pissed. And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, 4 days later. But this time it was good. I was mad for like an hour, maybe 30 minutes. And then later I was like, oh shit. Then I just started going through everything in my head. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, they're right. They're right. My codependency. I blame it on my Scorpio moon. But like, there's only so much you can blame, right, on your astrological signs and stuff. So I was like,
But there's also like the good or the lighter things and the more heavier things, like being
Right.
obsessive. That's
Right.
just amplified if you don't do your work.
right. So I was like, oh shit, they're right. So after maybe 30 minutes, an hour, I was like, oh my God, they're right. So then I got really sad. So then I was like, I have to go back to therapy. What am I going to do? So then I saw Nayeli and we talked.
And then she goes, "So, should I go to therapy?" And then I was like, "No."
I was like, Nayeli, do you have to go back to therapy?
And then a few days later, I'm like, "So, you're going to go to therapy?" And she goes, "You told me I didn't have to go."
She said I didn't have to.
I think that's part of the codependency. But I do see you're asking me as the vidente,
yeah,
not as the
not
daughter.
as the daughter.
But the lines are blurry, Mom.
I know. And so I guess the daughter was telling me, aren't you going to therapy? And I was like, no. The vidente said no. No, but I don't know. I just caught myself, and there's little things. Like, I think one of the main things we were talking about is like, don't, and they tell me this all the time, don't lose yourself, right? Always know. So, and it goes back to what we were talking about. Love yourself first. Always love yourself first. Put yourself first. And then what that goes down to is like, don't cancel on yourself. If you have plans, you do your plans. You take care of your stuff. Don't change things for dates, for men, for people, for people you're dating. Put yourself first always. And then keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So keep going, doing your workouts, doing whatever you are doing and you have to do, keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Keep doing it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I stopped doing was journaling and meditating. And so then what that did to me is I hadn't been meditating and I haven't been able to journal on top of school too. And so then that just like, it creates this more anxiety. So I'm not able to still my mind. And when I don't still my mind, I start getting anxious. So then I've been really anxious. And so then I can pinpoint it right. So I was like, oh damn, oh damn. And so by not being able to be calm, I can't think correctly. I just feel kind of like in a daze,
Well, because that's exactly what's going on. Because you're constantly boom, 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 boom. How are you supposed to see things clearly, feel things clearly if you're not giving yourself that space?
Right.
So now imagine people who have experienced all this trauma that not only their mind is clouded, but they're disconnected from their body. Their body is clouded up with all of this suppressed trauma, suppressed emotions, and they're over here trying to give readings.
Oh, hell no. And I wasn't even that bad, you guys, because I'm still doing my yoga. I'm still working out. I'm eating clean. It was just, I think the only thing that I'd kind of pushed back a little bit is I hadn't been journaling and meditating, and then my massage, right? But other than that, everything else was good. And so imagine how I didn't feel at my 100%. I wasn't functioning at my 100%. I was, let's say, maybe 80.
Is that moving?
I think I accidentally hit it.
Oh, okay.
I was like functioning like, I don't know, maybe the mental cloudiness, maybe 75%. Like that's what I was functioning at. So anyway, so last night I meditated and I journaled all day yesterday. Like I had a chance, like I had my little notebook with me and I would just journal whenever. I just had some thoughts and stuff. And so I just felt so good today. So good, so much clearer. Was able to get so much done. And it's like, and I didn't meditate for like 4 hours. I only meditated 10 minutes. All it takes is like that, 10 minutes. And then I slept so good. So good. I slept like 8.5 hours. Ooh.
Damn.
Which I had not slept because of freaking school. But but you're right. Imagine somebody who's working at the capacity of maybe 10% giving you advice and trying to lead you. And it's not that maybe they're amazing clairvoyant mediums and they're freaking amazing, but the problem is like shifting through what is theirs and what is yours. That's the problem. It's like imagine like it's soup, right? Your reading is a soup, and it's supposed to be a nice clear soup, but because they have all that stuff that they haven't dealt with, it's like a caldo de pollo with all the veggies. So it's a cloudy soup.
It turns cloudy, and you can't separate that shit.
No.
They don't know the difference. They
No.
think they're really out here telling
Yeah.
you shit, but it's just projection.
Yeah.
And everybody has the capacity to be a medium, a vidente, to engage with your ancestors, spiritual, and that's the whole point of our podcast, right?
Right.
Awakening
You are
you
God.
to you, right? But you can't get there just because we told you. You have to listen to everything else that we're saying, or other beings are telling you, or other spiritualists. But you have to start with your emotional body. You have to start with your emotional body, and you have to be willing to do the work. And the work doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
The work
It
doesn't end. I've also been going through it. And I didn't go live the days that I was going through it. I didn't have the capacity to go live. So I don't know what it would. And I think that in the past, because when I first started doing readings, my ego was very much in it, and I probably projected. Honestly, I'm not even gonna to be transparent. There was probably projection.
It's because it's hard to control that ego. That
Yeah.
ego gets in there, and oh my god, it makes you think you're freaking Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you can do it all. And
Yeah.
look at me.
right. And don't get me wrong, we are Wonder Woman or we are God, but there's also this understanding of I am everybody else. I'm not just God. You know, I am everyone and God. And, okay. Anyways, but so I don't know. I don't know what it's like. I can't imagine going live feeling the way I was feeling.
Discombobulated.
Yeah. I don't know. And so then now it's like now talking to the healers and the spiritualists, because we're calling them in, right? Really, like, what? I don't know. I guess I wanted to spark that question. Like, how do you sleep at night? How do you show up and do these readings for people? I
When
don't
you
know.
are not okay.
Yeah, but maybe it's not necessary. Maybe.
No, it's not, because it's not you.
Yeah.
It's not you. Like, yes, like I think for you what's different is because you engage with people and you talk to them, and you do that before you do your readings. Like that's the hard part. That's the part where if you're not okay, it's hard for you, right? But if you are like just a reader, you're a medium, whatever, and that's all you do is people come in and you just, you channel, you do that. That should be fine. You know why? Because you're channeling them. You're just a vessel. And so you can just be like,
But if I'm not okay,
but it's not
I
you.
should not. But that's not.
You're not doing the
But it's
reading.
my vessel. I cannot put myself in a position where I'm supposed to be a clear vessel
Yes. Okay, there.
of
That's
a
the
clear
key.
vessel in which essence energy can flow through with ease.
Right, because you
I'm
can't-
not that if
You're right.
I'm not okay.
That's a good point. So you can't go and eat like a big fat cheeseburger and a milkshake and then sit down and,
And
do
a shit
reading.
ton of chips. No, I can't do that.
And why? Because then the energy can't travel through. The energy
Because
does
now
not-
I'm dense.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Your body. But let's say emotionally you're just feeling sad.
It's the same thing.
The same thing.
Because it's the emotion. I guess it depends on the how much I'm letting it to how much I'm letting it affect me, how attached I am to it, how
Attached.
and yeah, basically that's it. Because I think that I don't know. I'm trying to think of moments where I was sad. I think there are moments where I am a little bit like, okay, but I know it'll pass, or I know it's something different, or it's just I'm in a shitty mood. But being up there helps me, makes me feel better, and my vessel becomes a vessel.
Right.
And then I think it is that level of attachment. 100%.
Right. And then also what I've noticed is when I'm going to, like, before an appointment, and you would notice this too. I don't know if it still happens to you now. When I have an appointment and the person is like really heavy, I start feeling sick. I start feeling bad. So I'm feeling their energy, and I've canceled already. I canceled an appointment once recently thinking, oh my God, I don't feel good. And then as soon as I canceled it, oh, I'm fine. So I was like, oh shit, it's their
It's
energy
them.
that I'm picking up already. I'm already picking up on all that. So for me also, I'm learning how to hold that space too, because it's a lot of energy that is flowing. A lot.
And if you are not okay emotionally, spiritually, then I'm sorry, but you do not hold the capacity to make space for somebody else because you're not making space for you. And that's that.
Goes back to love. You have to love yourself enough to take care of yourself and to be able to hold these spaces. 'Cause oh my gosh, that just made me think. That's why our teacher's always telling us how you can't go out and hold all these ceremonies if you're not okay and if you haven't done your work.
Exactly.
Because how are you going to hold all these the
Exactly.
space? How are you going to hold everybody's the energies and on top of all the shit they're carrying when you're not okay?
Right.
To me, it becomes a shit
You can't
show.
do that. Yeah. Yeah. And you're the vessel. So you are navigating, creating these wavelength, the energy. If yours is all shitty,
Oh, imagínate.
I know. You cannot hold space for other people if you are not holding it for you. You're good.
No, and I think one of the huge thing is like for us as we're learning and as we're newer practitioners, like I've been practicing now I've been with my teacher now for a year, almost 2 years. Oh, and I've had all these trainings and stuff, so I'm getting better. I'm learning, and a bit. But it's also like she always tells us, you cannot go out and do all these ceremonies for the public, right? And it's not so much as because it's other people. It's because you have to understand that you're holding space and you're channeling and you're doing all this stuff for your family. It's okay, but once you go out into the world and start charging and doing all this, you need to be sure you know what you're doing. Because I was like, I don't know if you told me or I heard, there's this big motivational speaker who's doing like arena stadium style speeches, and you told me, and then he's holding meditation or like a healing meditation.
Yeah, so it's some big guy, beautiful stuff. He says beautiful stuff, but he's also like telling people, he's like, I don't remember anymore, so if I'm skewing it, bear with me. I think it was just this idea of he's really using other people's energy, telling them, okay, inhale it, now release it.
I know.
And it's just like, okay, you're the navigator, but then we go back to, well, if that's not what he believes, then maybe it's not affecting him.
Right.
Because we create the reality
That's
we
a
want
good
to
topic.
believe in.
That's a good.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If that's not what he believes in, I truly believe it's not affecting him because he's not worrying about it.
It's
he's
like
not
the
carrying that
ignorance
fear.
is bliss.
Well, no. I think no. I don't think because I think ignorance is bliss is different.
So it's like the innocence.
Or I think I do understand what you're saying, but I have this connotation of it of like it's bad, or it's
ignorance is bliss. Okay, let's do it this way. It's like God protects the innocent.
Yeah, and he's just like, well, too. It's you believe whatever you want to believe.
Okay.
And why is that real? Because you create your reality, and if you don't believe in demons, then you never have to fear demons.
That's true.
And if you believe there is one God and in Jesus Christ, then you believe that, and whatever. You know what I mean? You
Creator
believe whatever you
earth.
want.
Of all that is
As
seen
long
and
as it's embedded
unseen.
in love, and his stuff was embedded in love, and I'll look into it again and we can talk about it another time so I can see it. Because I do remember I did tell you about it, was this idea of, oh my God, he's just releasing all this energy and he doesn't know, like he doesn't know how to use it. But that's not what he believes, So I think that saves him from it. But that's what we believe. So now it's like, okay, well, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because that's what we believe.
Yeah.
And we're putting so much energy and so much power into that. So like for me today on live, I was like, I'm drained. But these ancestors are like, how many times have we been telling you that you need to do baths, that you need to cleanse your body? How many times? I'm like, hee. And then I also realized I'm addicted to coffee again.
Oh, shit.
I know. When I realized both of those messages, when I heard both of those messages, my energy shifted. I was like, okay. I also had an energy drink. But awareness is key, you guys. Awareness is key. I also wanted to talk about... No, not acknowledgement. Awareness.
You have to acknowledge you have a problem.
No, not acknowledgement.
First step
awareness.
is acknowledging.
I don't... Anyways, so I also wanted to bring up the idea of operating from our trauma.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah,
As
around
healers.
around October. But hold on, around October, I remember I went to the hot springs, and I came out, and these ancestors were like, "Okay, look." Or during the hot springs, they were telling me, "We understand that you have gone through trauma. we understand that you are traumatized. But at one point, that has to stop. Like at one point, that narrative of I'm traumatized and I've been through trauma needs to stop. And it's more, yes, it's like stop being the victim, but I think that, 100% stop being the victim. But also, there were moments where, like, I can tell you, I wasn't being a victim, but that mentality of I'm traumatized. Oh, it's my trauma. That's still me being the victim. You know what I mean? They were telling me that since October, bro. And it came up again this time around with everything that I was going through. They were just like, okay, but now release it. Like, release it. Like, everyone's fucking tired of this shit, bro. Release it. So what we're trying, I don't know if I've said it, but because you understand me, so let me just be a little bit more clear. At one point, you have to stop. You have to change the way that you're showing up. You have to change the way, like, yes, you've been through trauma and you're traumatized or whatever. Not whatever, but, you know, whatever you say, you have to stop saying all of that, because I think I'm, like, not finding the right words.
You have to change your rhetoric.
You have to change your rhetoric.
You have to change your story.
Your belief system, your
narrative.
Yeah.
You have to stop saying, I am traumatized, to be like, I'm resilient. I am powerful. I am brave. This is what happened to me and I came out of it. This is what I learned from that.
And more than just affirmations, show up like that.
Right.
And be like, okay, well, for me, I think it was, I'm so traumatized. I was so traumatized in my last relationship. Yes, I was the victim, but at the same time, I did some shitty things. But I need to stop operating in that I'm so traumatized, and that relationship left me so bad. And in situations where I need to be, okay, for example, talking to new people or being in a new relationship, being asked to be vulnerable. And my body's like, no, right? We talked about this.
No, they hurt you. You can't.
Right. Well, I need to stop that fucking rhetoric of, I can't, I'm so scared to be vulnerable. Okay, you're scared to be vulnerable? That fear is not going to go away until you are back into those situations, until you change the fucking narrative. So then it was like, okay, I'm going to process all my trauma, and I'm going to stop saying that I have a horrible relationship with my dad, or I'm going to change that rhetoric, and I'm going to say I'm healing that relationship. I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be authentic to myself. I'm going to stop walking around eggshells. I'm going to show up and be vulnerable. I'm going to say how I feel without any filters, because I'm done living in the, I'm so traumatized, and I'm afraid to be my whatever.
And that trauma, it blocks your blessings. It blocks your abundance.
Bro, it does, because it keeps you in that fucking cycle. It keeps you in the I'm not healed. It keeps you in the
good enough.
And then the abusive ass cycle that we were just fucking talking about.
Yep.
And so now imagine trying to fucking heal people like that.
Exactly.
And it's so crazy, because I think that I went through some shit before I had a client, and then the entire time they were like, you need to process this shit or you can't meet that client. And I was like, okay,
like,
whatever,
fine, let's go
whatever
process.
you fucking say.
Let me process.
Whatever you fucking say. And then after my client, I was like, whoa. I understand now. I have to practice what I preach, or I just have to reach a different level of healing. You know what I mean?
But you know what I've noticed, for me and for you, it's like it's so much faster now. It doesn't take weeks and weeks and months.
It will take months. Sorry, it will take months for me.
Your last night of the dark soul was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before this. That you were literally in your room for like 2 weeks straight. We didn't see you.
Yeah.
So this was so much
and
better.
That was in October.
That was at 2 weeks? That was
Whoa. That was
and this
2
time
weeks.
I think it was what? We didn't you maybe half a day. You were really good. You came out of your room.
I came out and I came out and I communicated it.
You communicated, we went to class.
I was like, I'm not okay.
This was so funny.
I don't know what's wrong, but I'm not okay.
Literally, you guys, literally. She had her friend drop her off and she was doing that. And I was like, oh my God, let's go. Come on. But it was funny because it wasn't even funny. The universe, God, they work in beautiful ways, divine. So we had a class and we were doing abdominal massage, and it was just funny because the points that hurt her were the points that she needed to work on. And then my teachers, I was trying to work on her. She wouldn't even let me touch her.
Yeah, I was like, no.
literally.
But
And
it
I'm like,
did hurt. And everybody else was just like going through it.
I know, and this
chilling.
one's like crying on the table.
I wasn't crying. I was just like, ah, ow, ow.
Literally. I was like, can you let me practice?
Like my mom was barely touching me.
Like
bro.
barely. And so then the teacher, I was like, teacher.
And I was like, no. It was so funny. I was like, are we done? And my mom's like, no, I'm getting the shaman over here. And I was like,
And I got her there.
no, please, God, no.
And she went for it. And this one was saying, no. But she didn't care. She went and called her ass out to the T.
Yeah, she was like,
crossed the T and dotted the I.
she was like, are you, you're holding a little bit of anger? And I was like,
She was acting like she was 3.
and then she was,
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. The little 3-year-old's mad because her dad left and didn't take her with her.
dead ass.
And then she's mad that when they did pick her up, they didn't take her Barbie doll.
I
limousine.
knew you were gonna bring that fucking shit up. You always bring that fucking shit up. And then I tell my grandma to go pick it up
And
for
then she
me.
sent her grandma for her Barbies and her Barbie limo.
That was a bomb ass toy, girl.
It was a
It was
bomb-ass toy.
limo. It was a Barbie limo, and in the back
Huge.
it had a hot tub.
Yeah, that was her. She went
My
everywhere with
pride
it.
and joy. I don't know what
Literally.
the fuck happened to it.
I don't know.
But anyways,
Probably left it at your grandma's.
so anyways, and then I literally was acting like a 3-year-old, okay? And then she goes, like, maybe some daddy issues? And then I was like, okay.
And she was trying to do her massage.
But after she said that, she was able to touch me and I felt better.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, I woke up, put a whole bunch of castor oil on my body, and processed it.
Oh, so castor oil is really good for any kind of cramps, PMS, abdominal, any pain in the abdomen, the uterus. It's like it's such a good healing method. So you can do like hot castor oil what is it? Packs. But what we did is she just put castor oil on her and then like a warm towel. And so that helps process it helps process and detox the abdomen, stomach, uterus area. But then it's also really good for the processing the emotions, and it's just a beautiful healing.
Yeah, it was so fucking beautiful. And to be able to do it by myself was great because I was able to cry. And then I felt better. And then I came back home and I did it again. So I did it twice in one day.
Ooh.
And I feel like a brand new person and able to talk about it without acting like a 3-year-old.
So you're going to go with your session now with your shaman?
Yeah, I have to.
So she's so funny. She's like, go do castor oil packs and then come see me.
And then she's like, take your anger out, go throw shit around, then cry, then come and see me. And I was like, okay. Yeah.
But it's okay because then she did me and I was perfectly fine. It was great.
You were.
But then like 2-3 weeks, a month before that, we did oral. What is it called? Oral.
I don't know.
It's inner oral massage.
I think it is like oral massage.
Oh, what is it? There's a word I don't remember. Anyway, it's with your mouth and your jaw massage. Like it's just like a release in there. It's like it's really beneficial.
It is.
Oh my God, I was losing my shit.
Yeah, she was.
So we take our moments. We have
But-
our time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We pick our battles.
No, we don't. It's just the healing. But we did choose it, so maybe you're right. We do pick our battles. Now that has a whole different meaning, though. Cool. I think we're pretty
pick our
good, no?
battles. Yeah.
Okay. Pick your battles wisely. None of
Yes, and
remember the battles you picked.
just remember you picked this. You did
And-
this to yourself.
Yeah, respectfully.
And it is okay to not be okay.
It is, and it's okay to communicate that and be vulnerable, and that's for help.
It's okay to heal, to cry.
And it's okay to act like a 3-year-old because you're processing.
Yes.
Just for a moment.
Like, and there's a time and space
Yeah,
for everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
go
yeah,
act like
yeah.
a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, 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 yeah.
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 And fight with everybody. And no. That's
Do
not
your
pretty.
fucking work, bro.
Yeah.
And I know we're preaching to the choir, so send this to somebody who needs to
Who
hear
needs to
it.
do that work? But even if you like send it to them, it's like you can only lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So
Right, but hey, fuck it. Try it out.
Look it up, look it up,
Seriously.
look it up.
Even if it's to fucking trigger them, you know?
Yeah.
They need to be triggered. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, sorry. Anyways, we love you guys so much.
Love you.
I'm thankful that we were preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? I'm thankful that we have a choir to preach to. Like, you guys are doing your work.
Hallelujah.
And I think that obviously there's things that resonated. So listen to that. Work on that ego.
Yes.
And surrender to the flow. We love you guys.
Ooh, flow.
So
That is my message too today. Man, I've had so many messages this week. Go with the flow.
Go
with the flow.
Surrender.
Practice detachment.
Ashe.
Flow and detachment. I'll give you guys an update next week.
Hey! All right. I love you guys so much. Bye. Ciao.